Warning, brave adventurer. This episode of Echoes of Honor may contain adult language or adult themes. Viewer discretion is advised.
Hello! Hello everybody. Hello there. Welcome back to the Lost Archive. It's a very silent hello from everyone around me. Thank you for the podcast listeners. I'm just here on my own. Every voice you hear tonight is my attempt to deep fake the players, apparently, who are not going to contribute to the hellos. We are here. We are playing the Cosmere RPG, our Echoes of Honor campaign set in the Stormlight Archive. It is wonderful to see your gorgeous faces. We are here. We are raring and ready to go. Quick announcements before we begin. There'll be more and more information dropping about Mistborn, the Mistborn setting that's going to be coming out very, very shortly. For those of you who are in the Discord, you'll start to see some really cool stuff coming as time goes on. I'm currently working on the intro music, and I've been working on a world map in the background. I'm just looking for some feedback from some key people on the music. So I will keep you posted before the new draft comes out. But yeah, stay tuned. That will be starting very, very shortly. That will be happening on our Wednesday night campaign. So we'll be taking a bit of a break from Return of the Giants to do a short Mistborn campaign. I know I do not know the definition of the word short. It's a bit of a meme in the Lost Archives. I once described our Avatar Legends campaign as being a short foray into Avatar Legends system. I believe we wrapped up at about episode 82. So I'll do my best to maintain a short campaign by the common definition of short and not my definition of short. But I think it's a good place where we're up to with Return of the Giants. We've got a good spot we can pause for a little bit and dive into Mistborn, and we're all pretty hyped for Mistborn. I think Dave's the only one who hasn't read it, so he is now being forced to read Mistborn, which he should have anyway, and I think he's benefiting from directly. This is only of service to him. But yeah, everyone should be up and running and ready to go soon. I'll be having some character art starting. I think, Matt, we might start with your character art just because that's you're here right now and you know the books very, very well. I think you'll be an easy person to start with. So we'll have a bit of a chat about the options. I have seen a glimpse of some of the stuff for the Kandra. Oh, man. It's so good. It's just so good. Brotherwise Games have really, really been cooking with Cosmere RPG. There's a whole bunch of stuff about World Hoppers coming out shortly too. I'm really hyped for. Yeah, like how to play as a world hopper. Yeah, right. So one of the things I was going to say with you guys, once the timelines kind of converge a bit, I'm thinking we do some world hopper stuff. Who wants to go visit Scadrial at one point? Or Threnody? Yeah. Maybe not Threnody. I don't think anyone wants to go to Threnody. Maybe any other planet. Maybe any other planet.
There's not enough content for Threnody, and I want to go there.
Done. We can go to Threnody. Oh yeah, because we don't really know what the evil is yet, do we? We know that it's probably a shard that's been shattered, but we don't know much more than that. I'm really curious about Threnody as well. It's a good point.
Preferably with some helpful fabricator tier shades that just make shit for you, like something man, rather than murdery. You're
gonna take a step off at was it Beacon? Was that the city? Yeah. Okay. Good luck. All right, but that's the only fun news I have to share. It's just how fucking awesome the Cosmere RPG is and how excited we are for every new thing that's coming out as part of it. That's literally it. Any other fun things before we do our recap and dive into the session? No, sweet. Let's rock and roll. Alrighty. Our story has been following the survivors of a brutal attack on a Bethab caravan, heading from Alethkar to the Shattered Plains. Neivien, Rav-eth, Alaran, Ztar, and Hula have found themselves embroiled in the political machinations of the Aelthi from the moment they arrived at the war camps, drawn into investigating a deeper conspiracy involving House Thanadel. With a high storm bearing down on the Shattered Plains, the team met up at one of the public storm shelters, seeking cover just in time, the storm wall smashing into the doors as the team crossed the threshold. Mixing in with the other patrons, some faces familiar but most not, the team made their way into the open initial antechamber. After settling down and chatting with some of the other patrons, the team overheard one of the guards discussing a murder. Using Ztar's new Tashik information broker disguise, the group were able to convince guardsman Alindri to allow them to help him investigate. And this investigation is now well underway. With the body thoroughly examined, witnesses interviewed, and a number of solid theories and suspects whittled down, the team have progressed through this at a breakneck pace. Through their efforts, they have determined that the victim, Kavasi, was likely killed by a malfunctioning Fabrial, initially designed to protect the storm shelter from the damaging winds and force of a high storm, now transformed by a single cracked gemstone into a dangerous device capable of manipulating pressure in a small localized field. The list of potential suspects grows far smaller with this revelation. Only those who had access to the Fabrial and knowledge of how to remove and attach gemstones from the inner workings. The witness accounts, despite initially muddying the waters, now seem to corroborate their proposed timeline. Hula taking one for the team and interviewing Selath, the Iriali trader, in what can only be described as a rather awkward and uncomfortable encounter for both Rory and I. We jump straight back in with the team now regrouped and ready to interview Ardent Cass about her now highly suspect Fabrial design. And that is where we dive straight back in. Hula having emerged from the interrogation room, the makeshift interrogation room, with Selath adjusting the last portions of her really open vest is kind of what she's wearing on top of you. Two of the buttons are in the wrong spot. She very briefly changes the buttons around as she walks out through the door. Hula following along behind. Hula, would it be fair to say a bit of a blush, a bit of a rosying of your cheeks? Or are you doing your best to kind of like
Definitely
hide?
Fair.
Definitely fair. Okay, fantastic. In that case, then
Can't hide it. Blood's where it shouldn't be. Cheeks and other places.
In that case, then I'm wondering if maybe, probably not shame spren. Then I'm wondering if maybe we're looking more at, I don't know, not joy spren. Maybe passion spren. No, that doesn't seem like appropriate either. Lust spren. We'll make a whole new spren right now.
Probably just anxiety spren.
Anxiety spren. Okay, fair enough.
The old performance anxiety spread.
Yeah, just performance anxiety spren.
You see a few twisting black crosses, quite small twisting black crosses, as they appear around his head. A few anxiety spread appearing in the air around Hula as he emerges, stepping out from inside the interrogation room to meet up with the rest of you. So, I hand over to all of you. Question is, did you want to go straight and interview Ardent Cass and the senior Ardent who was with her? Did you want to pursue, I think, Ztar, you had wanted to interview Alindri at one point, I believe, and then there was also a bit of a question about the now demoted captain.
Alindri and Lurin were next on my chopping block. I think I was just about to talk to Alindri when we wrapped up last time was what I was up to.
And I think Neivien and Rav-eth were going to go talk to Cass and the other Ardent.
Yeah.
Alaran, you were going with them as well, weren't you? So it was
Yeah.
Rav-eth, Neivien, and Alaran who were heading over to go talk to the Ardents. Okay, in that case, then let's dive straight in with Ztar, because at that point, then Rav-eth, Neivien, and Alaran, you three would have gone off to go and interview the Ardents. Hula, you step out right as Ztar is finishing his conversation with Alindri. So we're going to jump back in time a little bit. Ztar, as everyone takes off and goes their separate ways, you watch as Alindri wanders on over, closing the door behind the rest of the group before turning back around to look at the body once again. You watch as he shakes his head. This is terrible. I can't believe that. Sorry, I interrupted.
No. That was me umming for my notes for exactly what I was going to talk to him about. I'd let him continue.
It's just terrible. I'm pleased that it is not poison. Awful way to die, but from what you've gathered here, as he examines the body once again, it seems that this was a painful death. Struggling to imagine what his last moments were like.
I mean, not too long ago you seemed disappointed that it wasn't poison.
It was a neat, easy answer and solution. I liked it. I was excited because I thought we had solved it. This still opens doors, still raises questions.
So tell me, Alindri, who had access to this area probably prior to the storm hitting?
Any of the guards would have had access. This room is not locked. It is kept away from the general population. It's mainly meant for the Light Eyes and other Bright Lords to come and deposit items of value. It's meant for those members of society who are above my pay grade, at least. I was about to say yours, but above my pay grade, certainly.
And Captain Lurin, did he come into here that you're aware of?
I'm not sure. I wasn't here at the time. I know he was patrolling around. He told us that he was going to be making his way to go check on the... look, Captain Luren was a man who often liked to rub shoulders with the rich, with the powerful. It would be of no surprise that he would have been here in this room.
No, I mean the room where the body was found.
He would have had ample opportunity. I can't place him at the scene. I didn't see him there, if that's what you're asking. Trust me, if I had evidence like that, this would be there would not have been any issue with preventing him from taking command of the investigation. I would have been straight away interviewing him as a suspect.
And you said any guardsman would have had access to this area?
The door would not have been locked. Any guardsman in the area could have potentially accessed this room. Not to mention before that, I mean, this storm shelter is kept maintained by members of the outer market, by, well, cleaning servants. It's all maintained by members of the market. This is not a high security area.
So just so I understand how to place the timeline of events, when would you have yourself last been in this area of this shelter prior to the events of the evening?
Prior to being summoned by the other guardsmen about the body? I don't think I would have...
I mean, you sprinted out and we found you while you were looking for Captain Luren.
Exactly. I was in one of the lower areas. I wasn't here. I was fetched from one of the lower corridors. There's another whole section to the storm shelter south of here.
So why did they fetch you?
I assumed it was to try and find Captain Luren. That they first asked me had I seen him, mentioned there'd been a murder, and I said, is there anyone securing the scene? They told me no. I sent them back and I said I would search.
I see. So, but back to the original question, when was the last time you would have been in this area? So you could tell me who you might have seen and not seen.
Honestly, I walked in. I guided Selath in. She was one of the first to arrive. She came early with a whole bunch of supplies. I helped carry a few things in with her. She may be quite uncomfortable, and so I left not long after. I would have been there for maybe 5 minutes tops. This would have been maybe an hour or two before the storm hit. Yeah. That was the last time I was in the room. And I didn't actually go into... Oh, yeah? Yeah.
Just because it's been a week for me, but not for...
Whoa. It sounds like a lead up to an excuse. Yeah, go on.
No. I remember that the purpose was to try and to confirm that he wasn't... Like, cause he, out of everyone so far, he's the only one that's actually benefited from this guy dying.
Well, potentially,
so
yeah.
That's that we're aware of. We're trying to work out whether or not he was involved. Was there anything in particular we were going to question him or ask him about that I've forgotten, or should I just drop that bomb on him and lose an ally?
The main thing that I remember you mentioning last week was the coincidental, like the way things have fallen very nicely for him. And you wanted to rule out that was potentially a motive. I think with him, it's more motive than anything else that you've got. There's really no evidence you've discovered specifically tying him to this, but motive for sure. I mean, it is there.
That's where I was going. Yeah. All right. Well, then, Alindra, I mean, it would be... I mean, you've been forthcoming in this investigation so far, but it'd be remiss of me not to pull on every thread. So far... things have fallen quite nicely for you out of these events. Should this resolve adequately, with Captain Luren removed, you stand to rise quite rapidly.
You watch as he nods. He was waiting for this, clearly, like in the way that he kind of like his shoulders slump a little bit. He sort of does a bit of a wry smile. You're right. I have the most to gain from this sequence of events. I mean, under Captain Luren, my prospects of promotion, my prospects of advancing through the ranks were slim. Luren made his displeasure at me known from immediately from me being assigned to his watch, assigned to his command. You're right. I benefit immensely from tying Lurin up in this. I can give you no other evidence against this than if I wanted to take his place. There are far easier ways, far more moral ways for me to do that than by murdering an innocent man. I understand that Kavasi, through the course of your investigations, you've discovered links that Kavasi was tied in some way to the black market. I had no knowledge of this beforehand, and even then I do not think that warrants death. Punishment and judgment certainly, but not death. I was already looking for evidence against Captain Lurin. I believed that he had ties to the black market as well, and again, your investigation has we've got 2 witnesses who can now tie him to Kavasi and to the black market. I would have got there eventually, without any need for bloodshed. I was going to present this to my superiors when I had enough evidence, irrefutable evidence, and have him removed from command that way. I would not kill a man. I have not killed innocent men. In times of war, I have taken lives, but not like this.
Nor do you strike me as the kind of man that would, like I said, I'd be remiss if I didn't.
No, you have to ask.
Follow every thread. I guess to rule you out fully, would you consent to me searching you, revealing what you have in your pockets and on your person?
Of course, I'm more than happy to consent to that. And as I said, if I had not personally, or at least had guards confirm. Excuse me. Teddy is trying to take a plate off the desk. Unbelievable! What a cheeky little boy. If I had not witnessed and had reports of you entering right as the storm hit, I would have the same suspicions for you and your friends as well. I understand completely. This is not personal. And with that, he begins unpacking his pockets. He doesn't have much on him, Ztar. A coin pouch full of some spheres, a number of them actually done. He has not had a chance to refill a number of his spheres with Stormlight. It looks like he probably meant to set them out in a high storm, has not been able to do so. Probably because he was down here getting things set up before the high storm hit. He has a side knife, quite well made. The steel is good steel, tucked away in a little hidden compartment underneath his jacket. The outer section of his jacket, it is a little bit hidden. That is a bit unusual. But apart from that, not a lot else on him. There is a folded piece of paper which has an artist's illustration of a very beautiful woman, roughly about his age. The paper has been waxed to protect it from damage. He has that in his back pocket that he's been carrying around with him. I mean, yeah, from it's just in sketch, but I mean, looking at her, she looks like she could be Aelthi or Vedan. Hard to kind of tell. Yeah, really not that much else on him. As he unpacks all of this, takes off his jacket.
So no broken fabrial gem.
No broken fabrial gem. Do you want to, though, roll for me a perception or a perception or deduction check to see if there's anything else you can figure out, anything you can see him doing that's a bit cheeky?
Yes, I would.
I'm not letting the real world influence my choice of words there.
Deceptively little, how much he has on it?
Bit cheeky. For a guard on duty, not really. The more he's carrying on him, the more he has to carry around with him. Hula, you would know that as a soldier. Like if you're heading into battle or if you're heading somewhere, the more shit you're carrying, the more shit you're carrying. Like it's not a benefit. You really want to be traveling light as much as possible. And if he's a colon guard, I just realized how that sounds. He is a member of the House Colon Guards. Brandon, you didn't think of this. You never said that out loud, did you? I'm willing to bet.
It's pronounced Caholan.
Caholan.
Yeah.
My Caholan.
Should have put a V in there.
Yeah. It's a silent V. Yeah, he'd have a secure bunk and a chest with stuff locked up back at the barracks. It really, chances of theft are pretty low. 7, Ztar. Nah, no funny business. Nothing to worry about. All good. DNF yourself.
I clear him, cross him off the list, and go join Hula and fill him in.
Fantastic. As you two converge, share the information, Rav-eth, Neivien, and Alaran. As you make your way back through the corridors, heading east once more, you emerge in the much smaller chamber where you had seen the two Ardents and the Soulcaster previously. They are no longer there. The only sign that they had been there, a small crumbling pile of stone dust underneath where the Soulcaster had been standing. You could see that she was sort of constantly shedding stone dust from her hands and from underneath her sort of long haver. But as you arrive back to the room, the door towards the north is open, and you can see through the gap Ardent, Cass, and her mentor are still there, huddled in the corner, talking animatedly. Other people have moved around. You can see what looks like a very tall Aelthi man, quite portly, currently enjoying food. He's clearly gone and fetched it from one of the rooms towards the south, currently enjoying a plate of curry. It seems like the outer market storm shelter doesn't separate men and women as military. What's what I'm looking for here? Like as militantly as a lot of the other storm shelters at the high camps might do. This one does seem to be a bit more loose and a bit more easygoing in here. Probably because there's a much greater representation of the non-Voran people. But yeah, as you head on in, have a bit of a look around, you see the two still in the top corner arguing. The conversation clearly has progressed. They are looking. Cass is looking much more tired, much more haggard. Her mentor kind of standing over her a little bit. This older Ardent with a shaved head.
So the third one's not there? The Soulcaster?
The Soulcaster and the two Ardents that were with her are gone. They have headed somewhere else, probably.
Outside of like Ardent, Cass, and her mentor, are there any other individuals in this room that look at any at all suspicious? Like just on the onset?
Looks suspicious. Yeah, give me a perception or deduction check, I reckon. And while you are doing that, I'm going to run and quickly collect two puppies who are currently having the loudest game I've ever heard in the front room. Give me 2 seconds.
Oh, see here, I thought the Ardents that we were tracking down were the ones with the Soulcaster, but it's not.
No, two different groups.
I want to interview the Soulcaster guys.
Yeah.
But I think it's important we have a chat with
both.
Old Love and Cranky.
Yeah. That's what I think.
50% of the problem?
Yeah, I've got both. The Lumi's underneath the chair. Lumi came immediately and was like, "I'm sorry, Dad." Teddy ran in and went, bam, tackled into the side of her. He's still a puppy. Look at his little face. Oh.
He's learning.
He's learning.
He's a little cutie, but I have to say, he's also a little cheeky boy. Which I do kind of like. I've always liked that in dogs. A little bit of cheekiness. I reckon it's like a sign of intelligence, being a bit cheeky.
100%.
14 deduction. Suspicious people. As you have a bit of a look around the room, Rav-eth, the thing that grabs your attention immediately are the furtive glances that two minor light-eyed women, probably one of the lower dans of light-eyed, you notice these two talking to an Ardent when you first arrived in the room. And if I drag your token across and chuck you back in that first room... Wow, my Roll20 is really lagging right now. Let me chuck you guys in. There we go. Who else is with you? Alaran. Over on the right-hand side of the screen, you'll see the two noble women talking to an Ardent there. One of them is wearing... the sort of burnished red colours that link them to House Aladar, the black and red. The other one is wearing this kind of more of like a yellow with black accents, which links them to House Sabarial. And you can see the two of them are chatting to this Ardent. As soon as you three walk in, their conversation hushes. The Ardent walks away, moving towards the entrance to the storm shelter, and the two noble women watch the three of you very closely, like a sky eel about to pounce on its crimling prey. That is a bit suspicious.
I am going to kind of stare them down a little bit as a light eyes of a higher Dan.
You would be of a higher Dan, Neivien. Not by much, but you would be. Yeah. As you sort of look across, give him a bit of a stare, can I get an intimidation check?
Oh, you can. That's a fun idea. You know, where's that thing gone?
Just for fun. This is nice background music. I feel like this is not really matching the tone of a murder investigation, but it is also kind
22!
of 22, Neivien. Your glare.
Wow.
Look, your glare is a fine and honed and practiced look. You've needed it, coming from your family, to be able to shut down a sibling, to be able to end, or a cousin to end an argument. Let's say that you've got like some older siblings who were quite vicious with their bullying as children. You've learned the look of thunder, the Stormfather's glare, it's called back home by your father, when you are displeased or angry. As you shoot them, a withering glare, the Stormfather's glare, you watch as both women immediately bow their heads in conciliatory tones, and you even hear one of them apologies, brightness, under their breath, as they then bow very deeply.
Owen, just as a brief aside, we're all having a slight desync with your audio and video.
How
I know that's
desync?
going through to the stream, but probably like half a second where we see you moving.
Way longer for me.
Yeah, it's about a half second, 1 second for me at the moment.
It's a solid second minimum on my end.
Easy fix. Hello. Is that better? Just refresh. Yeah, just a cheeky refresh and Ollie fixes it. Is that looking better?
No.
Yeah. Oh.
Well, I'm going to say that it's on your end. Wait, hang on. Is the desync issue solved? I might not be looking better, but is the desync issue solved?
It's a bit better.
It's better now.
Yeah, it was a bit better. No, when I said no, there was a decent desync, but it seemed to have resynced.
I thought you were being rude again about my face. Yeah, that's what you see, Neivien.
Golden clever.
I can't do anything with it. It's just the way it is, all right? Deal with it. You've seen it for years. Come on. Get used to it already. Yes, that's what you see, Neivien.
I also want to be looking around now that I've kind of shut those light eyes down. I want to be looking around while we make our way to the Ardents for the Soulcaster and her companions as well. They're high up on my list.
Yeah, well, I mean, as you walk through into this upper room, Neivien, given the direction you've come from, and then not in this top room, they really only could be in a room towards the south. There's the door right there. Really the only place they could be in the storm shelter, unless they've like opened the door of the storm shelter and headed out into the storm, which you think is very unlikely. Basically
we'd be
impossible.
nearing the Riddens at this point, right?
You're probably only an hour away.
Okay, all right, but not there yet. Okay.
No. It would still be very dangerous to try and open the door.
I'm going to take a little bit of a back seat, not approaching directly, but just kind of behind the other two lads as we approach.
That's annoying because Rav-eth was probably like leading, letting the Aelthi kind of like lead, and now you're like taking a back seat. He's like, like kind of like nervously looking around, realizing he's maybe a little bit out of his depth as the front. Alaran,
I'm happy to step forward for that. And as we start to move across the room, seeing Neivien give that like gaze of intimidation across to the light eyes in the room, expecting that to be like Alaran's state, and then kind of feeling a little bit puffed up by the fact that Neivien did it and he didn't need to front up. And then seeing Nevien's hesitation and Rav-eth maybe a bit like at pause of engaging, Alaran takes that for an opportunity for leadership.
Perfect.
And steps forward. Kess was it? We met up at the castle.
As you step forwards, you watch as the older Ardent immediately catches you out of the corner of his eye, holds a hand up to Kess and turns around towards you. As you then immediately address Kess, you watch as Kess looks up towards him and then looks towards you and goes, Alaran, wasn't it?
It is.
Good
And
to-
your friend here.
This is, and he immediately interrupts, Senior Ardent Eskin. I'll type it.
Senior Ardent Eskia. Is that a name that like holds like status that I would like know an Ardent of seniority?
It's very rarely used. Ardents are not meant to have a hierarchy within. That's the whole sort of fallout. But there are some sects where, particularly those who have taken on students, and this more happens within the historians and within the fabrial crafting, there are some Ardents now who do use this title. They are not really supposed to, and there are some families that would not be happy with them using that. The Colons would be one of them. If it got back to Elakar that there was an Ardent claiming senior status amongst the Ardentia, it would not be very well received.
Alaran has an angle here that he's going to play with a bit of authority, realizing there's an opportunity here and that they're already in a state of flux. And it's the fact that they were up at the castle potentially looking for funding, and we know some things about potentially their operation. Senior Eskia. Lovely.
Eskia. Eskin.
Eskia. Okay, cool. Kess was showing off the contraptions that sorry, these are my friends. They're scholars in their own way, and they're quite informed in scholarly art. So as a member of House Bethab, I worry about, you came to the Colons looking for help, and I see that you're quite in a frazzled state about the support that they have offered, and I'm curious what would happen if they did not support the Fabrial project moving forward, like investing in such an important thing. Would you be looking for support for such a project elsewhere?
Very nice, Alaran. You watch as Eskian looks quite sharply towards Kess, but as you begin mentioning financial support, a partnership with House Bethab, one of the great houses, his gaze softens, his eyes lighting up with a hunger. And as Kess sort of, because you mentioned that you had two companions with you, Kess sort of goes to introduce Neivien and Rav-eth, who I think she's met both. Yeah, she's met both of you before. So she was going to sort of make a bit of a go to introduce you. You watch as Eskin immediately cuts her off, bowing very deeply to Neivien and Rav-eth and Alaran. My apologies for my rude introduction. You must understand this has been a tense time for us. We have been testing a new type of fabrial. I have always known that House Bethab was a house of insight and innovation. And I do believe that there would be great rewards for both the Ardentia, for House Bethab, to lead the field in this particular method of fabrial production, and what we have discovered, Kess and I.
My friends will have some technical questions, I'm sure, but when could we see this technology in action?
Ah, my boy, it is already functioning right now as we speak. You have noticed in the ceiling lines of metal, a cage intricately constructed in the center of each room. The fabrial design is already implemented. It's already successful.
Question.
Hello.
The stone in this room, is
Perfect.
it intact,
Intact.
or is it cracked?
Perfect, intact, no damage at all.
Good to know. Good to know.
I must say, Senior Ardent, successful is an interesting use of words for a fabrial not fully tested.
The fabrial has been tested. You were yourself standing in this very room when the storm wall hit. Did you not notice the lack of pressure? The lack of damage to the walls, the gentle susurrus as the sound of the storm was quietened. This is
Would I
working.
have brought the broken stone along with us?
I reckon you might have.
I mean, you would be the person holding onto it, Neivien, so yeah, probably.
I'm just going to kind of open my hand and, just toss it up in the air, catch it, and then present it in front of this guy.
Neivien, Alaran, Rav-eth, I think all three of you would be paying particularly close attention in this moment, correct? Would that be fair to say?
Yes.
Insight or deduction, please, my friends. Actually, sorry, insight or perception. Insight or perception. Not really a deduction, more insight or perception.
Actually,
Hello.
I have a feature through the fray that
Yes.
allows me to give advantage to an ally.
Yes, it does.
Can I also use that, or is it make a check or give an ally?
I'm happy for you to give an ally advantage if you want to do that as your turn. That's a great
Okay,
idea.
can I give
Mathematically,
that
that's a better thing to do. so.
As we see that starting to happen, I give the advantage to Neivien. As I see that kind of like holding in the hand and the conversation start, I maybe pull my hand out and kind of lead a gesture for Neivien to lead on with that.
Perfect.
Oh, that's a bit better. Holy shit.
I'm
So
glad you got the good roll.
we got
Uh-huh.
a five from Rav-eth. Rav-eth, I'm going to say at this moment, you're kind of paying less attention to his expression and more attention to Neivien as she throws your only concrete piece of evidence up in the air over a stone floor. Rav-eth's only thought is, oh fuck, please catch this. The movement
I'm
kind of
almost ready
catches
to
your eye.
grab it just in case. Yeah.
Yeah. With Alaran's assistance, Neivien, that is a 23. We're going to discard the 12 as you have advantage. Alaran, because you've done the advantage, I wouldn't really have you roll the check because you're kind of focused on helping
that's
her.
okay.
But
That's all right.
GG. 23, Neivien. As you throw the stone in the air and catch it, the first time he glimpses it, there's a look of confusion on his face as if he's sort of like, what it... And then sudden recognition, followed by panic, quickly squashed with nothing, as every expression
Whoa.
is wiped from his face. Kess is confused and a little bit anxious, but that's it. Only emotions to go across her face.
Would you care to follow us, Senior Ardent?
I have business here with Kess. We are still discussing some aspects of this design. Perhaps it would be best if we organized the time to meet with House Bethab officially.
I'm sure it can wait.
As an Ardent, I think you can come with us.
You watch as that carefully controlled expression, that facade, cracks a little bit as his eyes dart towards the entrance to the storm shelter.
It's a little bit windy out there. Come along.
You watch as Kess looks up in confusion. She goes to take a step to follow you and then sort of sees he's not coming, sort of looks in a bit of confusion, looks towards him and goes, Eskin, what's wrong? What is it? You watch as Eskian looks to the left, to the right, and then bolts for the door.
Oh.
I'm going to do my best to grab him.
What I'm going to say
Yeah.
in this moment, have a quick peekaroo at any of your features, but also you would have a reaction as he tries to bolt for the door. Essentially making a bolt for the entrance to the storm shelter to try and break his way out.
How bad's the storm outside at the moment?
bad enough that if he opens this, it's not going to be great for people inside. This is an act of desperation. The storm. So we're sort of in the. I want to call it the Middens, but I think that's from. I'm getting confused between the Riddens and the Middens from the Monster Blood Tattoo series, which is like a period of time where the rain falls incessantly. Very similar to the Riddens in the Stormlight Archive. Let me quickly pull it open. The period of time right after the initial storm. Where are we? I've got all this here for me for whenever I need. Try to remember the name of it. It'll come to me later. Alrighty. Yeah, no, I can't find it. That's right. I'll find it later. What is our role here? So what are we doing? Are we doing an opportunity attack to try and grapple him? Have we got any features we want to use? You can spend a focus to do stuff like that if you want as well. There's lots of things you can do. Chat are already helping you out. I've just noticed Ozwiz is in the exact same thing. Spend a focus to grab as an opportunity attack. Also very, very available to you. You should all have most of your focus.
Yeah, I've got full focus.
Rav-eth, Neivien, Alaran, what would you like to do? All three of you technically have a reaction.
Good question. I think Naveen's going to attempt to shove, but not in a conventional way. If it's possible, I would like to shove with the intent of not necessarily, pushing them in a particular direction, but shoving them off balance and allowing one of the others to have advantage on their attempt to get him.
Yeah, for sure. 100%. I'm more than happy to you have to spend a focus because it's not really like a proper it's probably more a reactive strike. But because we're not in like a combat situation, I'm actually happy for you to use shove just as a reaction, but it'll just have to be a focus. Could you roll for me an athletics check?
I absolutely can, and then someone's going to have to tell me where I find focus.
It's at the very top of your cognitive, so right underneath the... So if you look at your three pillars, you've got the physical, cognitive, and spiritual. The middle one is...
Yeah.
It's right next to the long rest button.
Oh, now I'm fucked.
6. Neivien. This is a test against his physical defense. As you go to push him, this Ardent is wiry and more nimble than he appears. As you go to shove him, he ducks underneath your strike, tripping a little bit as he continues forwards. The momentum not interrupted.
Oh, can Rav-eth, because Rav-eth is pretty quick. He's got a pretty good agility. Can I try and get in front of him with my speed to try and intercept before he makes it out of the main chamber?
Yeah. 100%. And what would you like to try and do? Is this another reactive strike, trying to sort of like grab on and prevent him from leaving?
Pretty much. Yeah.
Do it as a grapple. Then. Spend a focus and.
There's kind of two things I want to do.
Tell me.
There's the grappling, although I don't think Rav-eth will be very good at grappling. But what he kind of wants to do is, I'm imagining with his knife, he wants to try and like get him in the hamstrings. So like if he's running away, he's not running away fast. Yeah, okay. Yeah. No, Rav-eth is very good at stitching people up, but he's also very good at opening people. So
okay, yeah. Then this is just a reactive strike. This is absolutely a reactive strike. You can do this as an attack if you want to use your weapon. Do this as a weapon attack.
I'm trying to keep it a little subtle though. This is not like an open like. I'm like trying to keep it kind of subtle.
You're not being arsed. You're not.
Yeah.
Topical.
I'm not. Like,
well, no. But what you do is you'd wait until he was like on the ground and then stab him. But this time,
that's right. I would stab him multiple times.
Yeah.
And pretend he has a weapon.
Give him the knife and be like, I don't know how this happens. Yeah.
I don't know how to do it.
Make me an attack with your knife, please. I should definitely change the music. This is we need something a bit more exciting than this. Let me do that now. This song's literally called Relaxing Green Nature. I don't think that's where we are.
Yeah, I'll need a little bit more than that.
Escape route? That sounds pretty spot on. Done. Let's do escape route. This might be a bit intense though. I seem to remember this one's like I used this in like the sequence when you were first going into the druids.
That's
a
14.
14 does pass. That is absolutely more. That's more than enough to hit. That's going to be 6 points of damage. That is excellent. You've been given disadvantage on this by Tangent. The Ardent must go free. I'm gonna need you to roll that again, please.
What's this crowd work bullshit?
Look, here's the thing. They're on my side, not yours.
I think he just wants to see a dude get hit by a storm.
Yeah, I'm going to be honest. Yeah. It's less about like preventing you killing him and more about he wants the storm shelter open too early. We're all here for that.
Fair.
+3. You'll be okay. You'll be okay. This should be fine. I'm going to say, you guys have all got pretty decent defense. I was just seeing, Neivien, your physical defense, even though it's like you're not very physical. Yeah, 12's not bad.
5.
That's a 5. Oh. That's a 2.
Yeah.
As you strike forwards, Rav-eth, Neivien's shove pushes the Ardent out of the way. As the Ardent like ducks underneath Neivien's shove, you topple forwards, the knife just missing the larger muscle group around the calf that you were just ready to slice there and incapacitate. Alaran, it's all on you.
Okay, I'm gonna make a reactive strike, but could I raise the stakes?
Yes, you can. Absolutely. I was about to say, with 2 failed attempts, this is raising the stakes for sure.
All right. I'm going to spend my focus and I'm going to make a reactive strike.
Don't go, chat. You're going to get another disadvantage if you do that. Oh, dearie me. Can love Cosmere, man. All right, give us the roll, Alaran. Yeah, this music's perfect. This music's absolutely spot on. Oh, it's an opportunity and a 19, so that's a 22. Plus, you get an opportunity on top of that. Holy shit!
Fuck yeah,
that's fantastic. 5 points of damage, Alaran. Okay, disadvantage. So the disadvantage can apply to the D20, or the plot dice, or the damage dice. It could be any of them. That's a good question. We haven't encountered this before. Do we let the audience pick which dice is re-rolled on the advantage or disadvantage? I think we do. I think it's an audience. Tangent,
it'd be rude not to.
Yeah,
it would be rude not to. Tangent, which dice are we re-rolling? The D20, the plot dice, or the damage dice? Any of the 3 are eligible. Not all of the 3. Just one. The D20. Alaran, just roll D20. Just roll D20. Yeah. Through roll 20.
Or just keep spending channel points and disadvantage all 3.
Yeah, you could potentially just be like, yeah, I really want you to mess this up. Remember, you've still got an opportunity, so that's still going to be very, very helpful here. Kind of like a pocket crit. You could just, did you, oh yeah.
Doesn't matter.
Oh, it doesn't matter. It's an 18. It's only one less. Okay. And what are you striking with? Are you striking with your side sword, are you? Yeah.
Yeah, my side sword. It's just like standard issue stuff. I still don't even know if I have my dagger back from the caravan, like captain that I handed it off to. So this is just like a Bethab side sword.
You have an opportunity to spend here. Would you like to spend this opportunity to essentially like tangle him up and lock him down in like a grapple, essentially? So rather than kind of stabbing him with the sword, I kind of imagine this is more you like throwing the blade out so that it kind of cuts away at like maybe his pants or something, so he gets tangled up his own clothes. Like what happens here? Talk me through, because you've got an opportunity to spend on top of this. It hits, and if you don't want to deal damage, you can do some other stuff.
It's definitely about getting him down. So it's a dive like at his feet and like a hook slash through his like ardent robes in a way that's like either gonna catch his robe that like binds his feet or slashes across the front of his legs as he moves, depending on the thickness. So it's like just a trip attack so that he just eats the ground.
Do you want to go? I'm going to, I guess, go one better. There's curtains, heavy, thick curtains that lead into this room and close off to hide the entrance to the high storm. Do you want to throw your sword to cut the curtain so it just drops on top of him and takes him out?
That's so cool.
Sure.
Like
That's-
Zorro style.
Pretty sick. You watch as Alaran, as this ardent ducks underneath Neivien's push, dodges Rav-eth's slash with the blade. You see Kess call out like, "No, what's up? What are you doing?" Alaran, you just pull out your side sword, chuck it up in the air, weigh it, and then throw it like a spear. Rav-eth, Neivien, you watch. In this moment, you're like, "Oh fuck, Alaran, you're meant to strike with the sword. You don't fucking throw it." And you watch as the blade rotates slightly, cutting through the top of the curtains. And as the Ardent rushes underneath, the entire curtain rod and curtain drops on top of him, the rod smashing him in the top of the head, causing him to pitch immediately forwards, the curtain wrapping around him as he twists, so that he is literally bound by the curtain as he drops, the side sword clattering to the ground right next to it. There is a moment of silence. And then you watch Alaran as the Aelthi merchant, the rather portly Aelthi merchant, who was sort of eating his curry that he'd taken from the room below, just goes, "Woo!" and it goes back to eating his curry in the silence.
I just look at Alaran and go, "That was the most impressive thing I've ever seen."
I don't know how I did that. I've never done that before in my life. Why did I throw a sword? That's crazy.
You
and then
watch
just, like,
Heard of that.
as a few golden orbs of glory spren pop into the air around Alaran. Idiot, that was the coolest thing you've ever done. I think that's pretty
so
fair.
sick.
I've only ever heard of that working for one man. Incredible.
Wait, what man?
We'll talk about it another time.
Help me
Go get
restrain this fellow.
Yeah. I call out because I'm assuming that in the antechamber there's guards on the other side of that door anyway. So I'm just going to
As the Ardent pitches forwards, slides to a stop right in front of them, wrapped up in a cloak. You watch as the two door guards look down and go, "What in the herald's name? What?" Leans in, looks at you, goes like, "Wait, what's going on here? What's all this? What are you doing?"
We had a runner here.
Lurin
mean a
and
runner?
Alendri have said that this man needs to be restrained. Have you got manacles for him?
Watch as the guards look at each other. "You think this is, of course, if you know," immediately pull out manacles, begin clasping behind his back. You can see the Ardent's like dazed. There's a large gash down the side of his head that's his bald head, weeping blood a little bit. As you see it lie there going, "Storm, it hit me." He's kind of recovering from the blow to the head as the guards manacle him, hoist him up. You watch the guards turn towards you, go, do you want us to take him down towards Alindri? We good. Yeah.
Yes,
Take
please.
him right away.
Yeah, that would be-
Nothing to see here, citizens, so go about your business. As they begin marching him through the rest of the group. You can see Kess kind of
I might go to
open-mouthed.
Cass. Yeah. I'll go to Cass.
What is happening?
I'm sorry, Cass, Ardent, that you had to witness that. We have our suspicions about your so-called senior Erskine.
What is suspicious about what is going on?
Maybe it might be best if you come along with us. You're not under any compulsion to do so, but lots of prying eyes and ears here. It's a little bit more secure where we are in the other chamber.
Okay.
We can fill you in with what's transpired.
Very well. I need to understand what is going on here. This is insane.
It's not insane, and we will explain it. Cass, come along.
With that, she follows you. Ztar and Hula, as you finish catching up, you watch as the Ardent, who you'd seen talking with Kess, is dragged into the room, his head bleeding, wrapped in a curtain and manacled, is marched straight through into the interrogation room by the guards, just walks right past you, Hula, put him in the chair and then close the door behind as the two guards give each other a nod and then make their way back towards the entrance to the storm shelter, one of them ducking over to Alindri, whispering something in his ear, and then heading back out again. You watch as Alindri catches all of your eyes and gestures to join him in the room at the top with the body.
We do so. Well, I do so. Hula.
Yep. Match.
Rav-eth, Neivien, Ztar, Hula, as the four of you head on in. Alaran, you're about to walk through as well when you notice something strange. As you go to pass by the wall, for a moment you can see what looks like these almost like vines growing up the side of it. You sort of blink and look back, they're gone a moment later. But for a second, it's almost like green, almost like a greyish green crystalline vine growing against the stone before disappearing.
I think, thinking it's just, an after effect of the rush I've had, I just run my hands along the stone, almost in like an inattentive search for like what I observed visually, trying to feel it out as I continue on moving with the rest of the group.
There's a faint dust, silvery, that disappears as you rub your fingers against it. Dissipates into nothing, like a residue almost that's gone a moment later. Not really
It's like
there. You don't
blow it
really
off my
even feel
hands.
it. It's kind of, yeah. You don't even really feel it against your the texture against your fingers. It's kind of, it just dissipates and falls away into nothing.
I think in that moment, Alaran's just like stuck in the previous one, and there's nothing else that really like calls to him in this moment, and he pushes on with the rest of the group.
As you rejoin your friends in the room, you can see that Ztar and Hula, since you were last in here, someone has placed a jacket. One of the soldiers has placed a jacket over the face and head of the body of Kavasi. Given that you've now had a really good investigation of his corpse, they're less worried about contaminating the body and more about keeping the face cover, showing a bit of respect. As you step on in, you watch as Alindri looks around at Rav-eth, Neivien, and Alaran goes, "My guards just told me you've apprehended a suspect trying to flee? An Ardent trying to flee?"
I think there's a pretty high chance that we might have a very important person of interest.
Sorry, who's this? As he points at Kess, who's followed you into the room behind.
Kess, didn't see you behind us, following us in. This is an
you told me
Ardent
to
Kess.
follow.
Yeah, no, we did. Could you please just go back to the other room?
Is that a body?
Just
As she
one room
points
back.
down at the corpse on the ground.
Nope.
Nope. Nope. Nope.
You watch as she looks a bit horrified, slowly backs out of the room, closes the door behind her, looking very disturbed.
A very large corpse spread.
Yes.
It's a big one. Huge. Big old rock
Tashiki,
spread.
how is our investigation going?
Well, I mean, we've ruled out a couple of people, got motives, whereabouts, a bit more details on the victim. I think we're about ready to proceed now that you've gone out into the storm shelter and obviously done what I asked you to do, which was to apprehend the Ardent. But please, for Alindri's sake, inform him on what our plan was with that and what we've discovered.
I gesture across to like Rav-eth and Neivien, and then like the roof thing, and it just kind of like explain.
I believe the prevailing theory that Neivien and I had was that the Fabrial installed on the ceiling here was somehow tampered or incorrectly installed, and well, it seems to have backfired when the storm hit, and has well, that's how our friend here befell his fate.
Long story short, this Fabrial above you, as I'm sure you're aware, is supposed to dampen the storm's effects. However, with this broken gem, and I hold up the broken gem, it doesn't quite work as expected and causes corpses.
Is
bit more specificity. Causes corpses. What do you mean?
Well, not so much that it causes corpses, but I believe what has happened here is that the failing of the crystal has caused a pressurized very localized explosion, so to speak.
The Fabrial kills people.
Yes, it malfunctioned and it killed the merchant.
It happens during a
Storms.
high storm, right at the beginning, when it's the most intense. That's when it's the most problematic. So long as
How did this get
No
installed
one's
in this
standing
shelter? I don't understand.
Well, that's kind of why we wanted to speak to our ardent friend here, and that's why he ran. I'm assuming.
We showed him the broken gem because I had a little bit of an inkling that this thing was actually replaced on purpose with something that would be easily broken. And I showed it to him. And he tried to leg it. So now he's in our custody. It worked out pretty well, to be honest.
So to confirm, you never mentioned the body. He fled at the sight of the broken gem?
Yes.
Hey.
Well, that would imply that he knew that there was more than just a malfunctioning gem and that it was installed with malice, so...
That's right.
I don't.
Is he in the...
I don't quite understand what they have to gain from this, unless it was a cost-cutting exercise, and perhaps they were trying to, I don't know, maybe they didn't have enough gemstones to properly fit out the storm shelter, and they swapped some out that may have been less.
I vote we go ask him.
I think so. I think that could be a good line of thinking.
I propose we bring him in here. Let's make him as uncomfortable as
I agree.
possible. Your
I
other
like
ardent
the sound of
friend, the one who just walked out, do we need to bring her in here as well to question? She seems rather uncomfortable.
I
Not
don't.
at the same time, I don't think. I don't
Okay.
quite trust her, but I trust her a hell of a lot more than the other one.
Fine. You watch as he nods over towards the guards. One of the guards at the door heads on over. A moment later, brings in Arden Eskian, seats him down on one of the chests right in front of the body of Kavasi. You watch as Alindri leans down, lifts up the jacket, slowly folds it over his arm. Do you know this man? As he looks down at Kavasi and then looks at the Ardent. You watch as the Ardent Eskin begins to sort of like, with his manacled hand, sort of rub some blood out of his eyes. I don't want to see that. Put the jacket back on, please. Don't need to see that.
No, I think you should see that actually, because your actions have consequences.
What are you talking about?
Can I turn to one of the guards that's brought him in and request that one of them search him?
Yeah, 100%.
Full cavity.
Alindri nods. As soon as the guard heads over, you watch as Eskin immediately...
Anywhere you could hide a gemstone needs to be searched.
How far?
Yeah.
away?
Thoroughly.
I said, if it could conceivably hide a gemstone, search it.
Okay. How deep are you ordering this guard to go, I guess is my question.
How deep could you hide a gemstone?
Pretty deep, to be honest. I know, you watch as soon as the guard
Aelthi
begins
special.
to... The Aelthi special.
What's that mean?
Whatever you need it to mean.
Wow.
We've got the name of the episode. As the guard heads on over, you watch as immediately the act of a dazed and injured Ardent drops away as he stands. Do not touch me! Unhand me! And you watch as the guard just looks towards Alindri, kind of
All
chuckles
sorts
a
of
bit,
words.
immediately grabs him, and then begins like going through his pockets. A moment later, you watch as he pulls out a stack of beautifully cut gemstones wrapped in a small pouch. There are 8 of
there
them
it is.
currently wrapped up in here,
Wow.
along with what looks like components used in Fabrial design. There's some paper here marked with women's script and with glyphs. And you can see that looks like designs and papers used in the construction of Fabrials. Interestingly, Neivien, you would recognize these as written in the women's script for the most part, which means that unless he speaks and writes in women's script, these aren't his designs.
I confiscate all of that.
Yeah, as you grab it.
I thought Ardens do use chick script.
Not all of them do. They can, absolutely. They're the only ones who are exempt from the gender separation of writing. But even then, I thought the men normally did more of the glyphs than they did of the script. But I could be wrong about that. I will say the Neivien...
chalice.
Yeah.
Is how that's represented in the foreign church.
In that case, Neivien, you would recognize the handwriting as belonging, or very similar to the notes that you saw Kess showing you before as well. In that case, then that's kind of clued in without having to retcon now what I've just said. Do you want to roll for me a crafting or deduction check to see what you can learn from these notes? Kind of sounds like that's what you'd be doing straight away. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Settle down yet, Teddy boy? Teddy, come, Papa. Come snuggle.
Just while they're rolling that, I just had a question. I think someone asked the other day if the other minute, if the other rooms Fabrial was working. Have we checked any of the other rooms, or just those 2 rooms?
Just those 2 rooms. You haven't checked any of the others yet.
Okay. Because if he's got a pocket full of nice functioning gems, wouldn't that make? Wouldn't he have gotten them from somewhere?
He had?
It looks like he's got a bunch of gems. You can see that there are 2 sapphires, a couple of rubies, an emerald, and what looks like a topaz. Alrighty. Neivien, you get to roll again. You've been given advantage by Rav-eth.
Aww.
Yeah. I'm helping you out.
Teddy's still
fun.
learning how to chill during podcast episodes. So please do excuse the occasional balky dog and need for me to get a bit of a cuddle. 23. Neivien, while the others continue talking to the Ardent, who begins immediately looking very suspicious as the gemstones are produced, as you look through these notes, your initial suspicions are confirmed. He did not write these. This is very clearly written by Kess. For a start, her name is signed on most of these. And in addition, the handwriting is unmistakable. You can see that it matches hers exactly. Given that you had a bit of a look at her Fabrial designs only a few hours ago outside the front of the palace, this is immediately recognizable. These are clearly her notes. What's interesting, though, is that he has clearly made an attempt to begin, shall we say, adapting them and marking over them to make it look like this is his work. Glyphs have been added to indicate and to cover up her name in some locations. You can see that there have been attempts to cut down on a number of the materials used in this design, probably a cost-saving measure. It's becoming quite clear that this is he is attempting to, or at least partially in these notes, as a scholar, attempting to take credit for this work and this discovery. And hijack it.
From what I can see of the amendments that he's making, are they logical? Does he actually have any Artifabrian knowledge behind him, or is he just bullshitting his way through?
No, he does have some. There's a surface knowledge here, but a lot of the changes and design efforts, he's kind of suggesting cost saving more than anything else, like cutting down on materials, which inherently makes this more dangerous, and in some cases you think non-functional. One of his suggestions with the paired rubies isn't really how this mechanism works. He's just tried to sort of shoehorn in how a span read works. He doesn't really understand the complexity of this design. He has some knowledge, enough to be dangerous, but not enough to understand what it is he's looking at here and what Kess has created.
Okay, I'll file that away. Did we turn up the bloody piece of paper by any chance?
You have not yet found that.
Interesting.
As Neivien is going through these notes, reading them in detail, the gemstones are produced and placed down in front of you guys on the table. You watch as the Ardent looks at them. What's this? Fabrial crafting patterns. Of course, I would be carrying around gemstones infused with Stormlight for crafting Fabrials. Why are you all looking at me like this?
Just so happens that the missing sapphire from this room's Fabrial is in your bag? That's a coincidence?
There's no...
Or would this not fit in the roof here?
These gemstones are used in a number of designs, often cut to fit in multiple purposes. I would be very surprised if these did not fit, but it is not... These are my Fabrial designs. I sometimes need to change gemstones and move things around. That is not unusual.
So,
your fabrial designs.
Of course.
That's curious.
looking at the fabrial that you've got here in the roof, we noticed it's got a little bit of wear from gems coming and going. If I were to take this particular sapphire that we've just found on you right now, would we find similar wear patterns there?
Maybe, but what of it? As I said, this is a fabrial that I have helped design and build. Of course, the gemstones that I have here would be suitable to fit in it. That is not
And what's
strange.
this fabrial do?
It is a very complex piece of Artafabrian science, but in essence, it helps protect the storm shelter from damage during a high storm and keep people comfortable
Humor
inside.
me.
I think you need
What's
to
this
answer Neiveen's question.
It's
With detail. No.
maintains a steady atmosphere inside the room in which it is placed. There are paired rubies which allow for information maintenance between the two nodes. There's components which allow for pressure to be... you watch as he visibly begins sweating a little bit.
Components. Okay, would you mind pointing to those components?
There's an iron casing, and there's...
Yeah, point to it.
You watch as he points at the roof, sort of moving his finger around a little bit vaguely.
No. Go on, stand up.
Those bodies, right? I'm not going... I can't go this...
The body isn't going to do anything to you now. I can assure you.
And I suppose it's just a pure coincidence that it was Arden Kess's lockbox that he was directly in front of when he died.
Oh yes, that is curious.
What are you talking about? Arden Kess does not have a lockbox in here.
Well, then explain the bag of gems with her name on it that we found in it. It seems awfully suspicious that you would be trying to steal her designs, and then where her belongings were being kept was the site of a unfortunate accident.
Careful, Tashik. You're accusing a member of the Ardentia of theft and lying.
Yes.
No, I'm accusing a member of the Ardentia of attempted murder, actually.
I'd go a step further and say there was no attempt made.
Well, I mean, insofar as I suspect that this was not the intended victim, he attempted to murder Kess. He succeeded in murdering this poor chap.
You watch as his face goes emotionless again.
I still find it interesting that a senior Ardent has no notions of where to find these particular components that I am directly asking him to point to on the roof.
Oh, I mean, I'm sure he's just flustered, Neivien, but look, one word to my colleagues at the Tashik Information House, and I'm sure we could get all the details of this Eskian's scholarly works, which I'm sure will extensively reveal his depth of knowledge. Will they not, Senior Ardent?
You are trying to accuse me of serious crime. Attempted murder. Actual murder. Do you have any evidence of this beyond wild accusations? And what?
I mean,
A
you
broken
tried to flee
gemstone?
into a literal... You tried to flee into a high storm.
I was worried for my safety. I was approached by these, this vicious-looking brute.
As he points over towards Alaran and Rav-eth.
They accosted me in the hallways, accused me of a serious crime. I had no choice but to try and preserve myself.
So let me get this straight. Because I, for one, happen to remember fairly clearly approaching you and showing you a simple object with no threats. Are you saying that
Of course you would say
a
that.
light-eyed lady, are lying? Is that what you're accusing me of?
You are accusing me of a similar thing. You'll see how it's...
You are an Ardent. I am a Light Eyes. Shall we try this again?
You watch as he takes a breath, pauses,
I was caught off guard by being dragged into this room, attacked with a sword from this member of Bethab's household, shown a body. A poor, horrific accident, I am sure. I have nothing to do with any of this. I apologize if my tone, if my words have been overly aggressive. I was flustered in this moment. But surely there is some mistake. There is no way that I could have done any of this.
I'm going to pull out of my pocket my fake lie detector.
Oh, cool.
Do you know what this does? Senior Ardent.
Neivien, I'm going to get you to roll this for me because I want this to be public and I think this will be very funny. Could you please roll for me a deception check? However, I'm going to give you advantage because you have already got him on the back foot of how Fabrial designs work, and as a result, he does not want to look like a fool in front of you, not recognizing this. So 14 is the first roll. You have advantage on this. 15.
15?
We'll take the 15. Now, in conversation moments like this, just like in battle, where you can spend focus to do things, in Cosmere, with conversations, they're kind of like battles as well, and you can spend focus to do some really cool things, like resisting being influenced, overcoming checks and things like that. However, the cost is proportional to how badly the fail is and what the consequences of the roll are. I am going to have him spend... It'd be all his focus if he wants to try and resist this. I think I'm actually going to have to maintain that and bank it for later. He's going to need it more later. You watch as he stands up his straight and goes, of course, a simple design.
Good. What is it?
It's a rather simple fabrial using, I can see here you have a cage of some zinc, some brass there as well. This is a simple design. You have made some modifications, though.
Let me help you out there, because you seem to be struggling with this simple design.
My glasses they were smashed when I was attacked in the front room. I cannot see clearly.
They were, weren't they? And with that, when he says that, the light goes off. So, this simple, and I must stress it is simple, design allows one to know if somebody is lying. You see this? You see when it lights up? Isn't it fascinating that it lights up when you say you left your glasses behind and that they were broken? Fascinating, isn't it?
Yes, this is ridiculous. No such design has been discovered. The ability to detect for lies? No, it's not possible.
Oh, yes, and you would know, wouldn't you? Senior Ardent.
You watch as he looks a
With
little
that
bit
out of the
unsure.
way, how about you carry on? We know you'd tell nothing but the truth, so you should have nothing to fear.
As I said, I had nothing to do with this crime. This unfortunate accident. I have no part in this. I was merely trying.
The light goes on.
No, your fabrial is malfunctioning. It's faulty. I had nothing to do.
The light goes on again. Can you roll?
How about we try this again?
Can you roll for me?
Saying his fabrial malfunctioning is just such a bold call from this dude in this situation.
Every accusation is a self. What's that saying? Every accusation is like a self-revelation. Like you're kind of showing your hand every time you accuse. Yeah. I believe that. I think when people go in heavy on accusations, normally it's a bit of a sign of where they're feeling a weak spot or feeling a bit of a weakness. So, could I get a?
Yeah. Doesn't it go whoever smelt it dealt it?
I believe that is the more scientific term. Yeah. He hast smelt, thou hast must dealt. Could I please get?
They say it's true.
Could I please get an intimidation check, Neivien? Could you raise the stakes on this for me, please?
Oh, fuck yeah.
Okay.
Hula, while this is happening, you watch as Alindri leans in, goes, how long have you had a device that can detect whether people are telling the truth or lying? That would be very handy. Is there some way I can get... How do we get this? This would make my job very easy.
Not now. Not now.
No, he leans into Hula. He's talking to Hula while this is going on. While you're doing this, Alindri leans into Hula. How do I
The
get
cost
this?
would be quite great, but we can talk about it later.
Yes, please. That would be very... thank you. Intimidation check.
Hula was even necessarily there when you discussed making this thing. I think.
Oh, so in your mind, Hula, this is just a really cool device.
Yeah, I'm just like, yeah, we can barter this up.
Yeah, I can figure it out later. No problem.
Raph, that is a 13. However, there is a complication.
Ooh.
I will bank that complication, and you will know when it comes up.
Oh.
The look of fear in your eyes. That is delicious. Yum. More of that, please. As you watch as he begins to grow more and more flustered. 13 does pass, by the way. The DC. You watch as he begins to grow more and more flustered. The Fable design is still being... it is in its early stages. There may have been a horrible accident, but it would only have been because this man was he fiddled with the design. You watch as the light goes off again, yeah. This man must have interfered or tampered with the device. There will need to be safeguards in place to prevent people from touching or playing around with this, but it...
Your Fable is going off quite a bit.
I know. Fascinating, isn't it? How about we ask some direct questions?
Indeed.
Okay.
Of course, being such a well-learned man and individual, and obviously taking credit for such an impressive device, you would surely know of the ramifications if one were to be faulty.
But if the device had been assembled by an underling and they had failed to follow the designs as outlined, the fault lies with them. This was a failure of their ability to carry out instructions.
Well, that's rather interesting, actually, because I believe if you are referring to your underling being Kes, we were actually up in the castle just before, and I had got to take a look at her notes on her fabrial design, which seemed rather sound. Wouldn't you agree, Neivien? I think there was a lot of potential in those designs.
It would have been my notes she was presenting to the Queen Mother, to Navani, to Brightness Navani.
I don't believe that was the case, actually. If I look at your designs here, is that a glyph here that it looks like you've drawn over these designs.
Favorable designs are always being adapted. Sometimes I need to make notes quickly, and glyphs are an easy way to do this. I can quickly make annotations and adjustments on the fly, far quicker than I can with the full script sometimes.
Well, see, the interesting thing is that Ardent Kess's notes earlier on, they were rather sound, rather well thought out. I believe they were fit for testing. But you see here, Neivien, I believe, you might have been the one that pointed this out to me before. It appears that these notations, I believe, in your hand, Signor Ardent Erskine, I think these are a little tad unsafe for such a fabrial design, these modifications.
They do seem to overwrite the original designs. And on that note, you know, it's interesting. If there were to be certain underlings who were creating, shall we say, unintentional flaws in your design, Senior Ardent, I'm sure you would have no trouble with looking up at this ceiling right now and pointing to where those potential flaws might be. Would you?
Yes. Such a well-learned man would be able to spot these immediately, since these are your own designs. Surely you'd be able to point them out.
I would, but my glasses, they were smashed in the
Bing.
This time, Neivien, the light does not turn on. As you hold it up, ready for the light to turn on, this is the complication. You watch as the light fails to light up, and you watch as the immediately asking us, "See, I was telling the truth. My glasses, I cannot see it properly. My glasses were smashed. I am unable to make those. I need my ability
I
to
wonder
see."
if anyone else within our little shelter here would have a pair of glasses that you could borrow. How about
My
we send a
script
guard
would
out
be.
to see?
My script would be
I'm
hard.
sure something's better than nothing, right?
Or I
could
could
go find a pair.
Or I could get
definitely
my
not
good
true,
friend
by
here,
the way.
Hula, to just lift you up so you get a better look.
Aye, that could work also. Let's get you a little closer to those. Be wary, though. They're dangerous.
Hula, do you ask for permission before you just pick him up and hold him in front of the Fabrial, or are you just going for it?
Just going for it.
Hula's like just recovering from the interview with Selath. You watch as Hula's like, any excuse to like get that out of my mind. Just reach down, pick him up, hoist him up. As he's lifted up
It's like
immediately
a
close.
full Simba moment.
Yeah. I'm not even going to have you roll a check, Hula. I reckon you'd be able to pick up this man with no problems. As you lift him up and hold him closer, you watch as he looks over and goes, well, there's a gemstone missing. A sapphire is missing from this. That is obviously the main problem. If someone has tampered with this and taken the gemstone, an infused gemstone, then of course it will not work properly.
Oh, here it is.
So you admit to sabotaging this Fabrial, removing a gemstone that is custom fitted for this particular device. You have some nerve.
Oh, dear me. Oh, no. How dare I? How dare I take the broken gem out so that we could look at it a little bit closer?
Am I still holding them up there at this point?
Yeah.
It's up to you. You can bring him down if you want.
Yeah, I think I could hold him a bit longer.
You say that there was a broken gemstone fitted in this device?
No.
Well, you are holding a broken gemstone, and you said it came from this device, so one can only assume.
How would that happen?
Well, I would have thought as a dabbler in Fabrial design, you would at least know that gemstones occasionally break.
Aye. How would this one break?
Perhaps it was poorly cut, ill-suited to the task. This could be...
You watch as he shakes his head for a moment, a little smile coming to his face. He goes,
we Ardents are not wealthy. I wonder if... It pains me to say this, but I wonder if Kess may have switched out one of the perfectly functioning, well-designed gemstones for a cheaper one. That such a terrible accident has occurred as a result. It's shameful. We must report this at once, what Kess has done.
I'd say that speculation is worth investigation, but I don't know if it's quite as urgent as all that. You know, it's funny. Kess wasn't the one that tried to run away once they got a good old look at this broken gem.
A guilty conscience, perhaps, frozen in place the knowledge of what she had done.
In my experience, usually the guilty are the ones to run away. Your actions there were quite telling.
I think Alaran just has something kind of click in a little bit. You've been having a heated conversation with Kess since you got into the chambers. I'd be curious to know if you had such concerns about her actions. What is it that you were worried about that you were discussing earlier? It might be important for Kess's conviction.
A heated debate between academics, arguing over the specifics of it may have looked heated to you, but it was a robust discussion over the specifics of some aspects of the design and wanting to know more about what the Queen Mother had said at the meeting.
At that, I leave the room to go and have a separate conversation to verify what Kess says that conversation was about.
Nice.
Where are you going? What is this? What is that noise? There's some squeaking, trembling in here. Where are you going? As you walk out, Alaran, just closing the door behind you. What is this? Why am I still manacled? There's no need for this. Come.
Bing.
You watch as he looks down at Hula's pants. Does he come?
Okay, well, let me down, please. May I be lowered, please?
Yep, I'll lower him, but we won't be taking the manacles off.
Oh, why not? This is ridiculous. This is a farce.
How long are we going to play this game for, Senior Ardent?
What game is that? This is no game. A man is dead, and you are accusing me of his death. Your Fabriel now makes noises, does it? Is that the truth noise?
That is the truth noise, because you are standing accused right now.
Only by you.
And I find it, well, I think there's some circumstantial, and I'll admit, circumstantial evidence that does point to you being the guilty party. It may take us a little bit of time. It may take us asking a few more questions, not only of you, but of others, to parse the truth.
Well, in fact, perhaps while we pass the time, Neivien, did you not mention before the stone in the ceiling? There should be a stone that fits it well. The one that we found obviously didn't fit it very well. It looked like it had been a part of multiple Fabriels, ill-suited for such a thing. Perhaps if we test some of these sapphires that were in the possession of our friend here, Arden Iskin, Senior Arden Iskin, might I add, as we are in such esteemed company. Perhaps one of his sapphires would probably fit this device. We could just test them, perhaps.
Interesting point you raised there, because it is true. As I'm sure you know, Senior Ardent, a gemstone would need to fit quite well to be effective in this particular situation. Wouldn't it be fascinating if one of the ones that you had happened to fit it perfectly, especially given the nature of the design of this? I find it interesting. I don't think there would be too many gems that would be interchangeable with a device like this, given the huge amount of power it would take.
This is the role which the sapphire fills is a simple design. It is not. There would be many sapphires you could find here that would fit this device perfectly. It's not a complex system with the sapphire
exactly
housing.
What was the sapphire doing?
That's a good question, isn't it?
That is a good point, yes.
What were these sapphires doing?
Sapphires are the ones that are in this housing here are meant to be regulating pressure.
Right. In which direction?
Pressure is not... It's not that simple how it is functioning, not moving necessarily from one location to another. It was meant to keep a stable pressure. I'm spending one of his focuses to do that.
All right. And so I suppose whilst the pressure regulating device, perhaps, maybe it is a fairly simple design, but when it's regulated with all these other modular components that we have built in here, wouldn't it be fair to say weathering a high storm is no small feat? Wouldn't it be fair to say that a certain amount of power would be used in order to keep this thing up and running? Wouldn't it be fair to say that it wouldn't just be a general standard sapphire that would fit this particular device due to those requirements?
The quality of the gemstone would need to be impeccable, as you so obviously put. but the actual cut to fit it into the housing is relatively simple. I am going to jump with Alaran really quickly if you're still with us, Ash, because if you're heading over to talk to Kess, this directly could come across back. So I think it's important to have that conversation with Kess and be able to come back and have that conversation. Teddy, you're not chewing electrical cables, are you? Oh my god. What are you doing, dog?
Buddy, that's not good for doggos.
That's actually what I was doing off screen too.
Oh yeah, no.
Electrical cables.
Little 240 volt. Delicious.
Well, actually, to his credit, he's not chewing electrical cable. He has put his teething stick in the middle of the power board and is in fact just trying to get it back.
Oh, that's fine. That's totally fine.
What are you doing?
Oh, buddy.
Good boy.
Podcast listeners, Teddy's making an appearance. He's really cute, but also a bit of a terror. Look at that face. He's like, I wouldn't do anything wrong ever.
I think Teddy should just run this now. Run the show. BDM for us, please.
Teddy, yeah. I think that's a great idea. He's actually got the girliest little bark you've ever heard. It's like more girly than Lumi's bark, and Lumi weighs like 4 kilos. It's really funny. It's frankly embarrassing for him. As Alaran heads back outside, you can see Kess is currently like guarded on either side by 2 members of the Colon. By the Colin house guards. God damn it. By the Colin house guards. As soon as she sees you, you can see that she looks pretty spooked. As you head on over, she looks back towards the room, visibly pale, a little bit shaking. What's going on? What's happening?
You said she's sitting down, yeah?
She goes to stand as soon as you come across.
Oh, okay. It's okay. Kess, do you know why he ran?
I've got no idea. I don't understand what's even happening. Why is there a dead body in that room?
Yeah.
And the fabric, the gemstone was missing.
You noticed that? That's good.
Of course. I've spent my life designing this.
We'll explain things. We'll explain everything soon. It's important just for the investigation right now that I don't say anything else other than to I just have one question for you. When we came in to the storm shelter, you and your master were having quite a debate. He's just given a statement as to what that was about, and I'm just here to make sure that both you and him are being truthful in helping clarify in this investigation. Do you remember what the main topic of that conversation was?
Of course, he's been saying that we need to move forward with the implementation of designs. He was getting quite harsh about how there was a lack of funding, that we had not had any commitment from Navani Colon. I was trying to communicate that these things take time and that it is worth the creation of these specialized gemstones. I mean, they have to be. I know it takes longer, they are more expensive, but they need to be. These are very highly specific fabrials that are working in conjunction. It's a complex ecosystem here. It's worth a bit of cost up front. This will pay itself off later on. And anyway, why does cost matter? This could potentially save lives, make people... I mean, if this works in storm shelters, we could potentially use this in buildings to protect buildings from the storms without having to worry about storm shelters at all. That could save lives.
Kess, I don't understand these technologies that you work with, but that sounds like a good thing. And he was not worried about using the wrong gemstones?
What do you mean the wrong gemstones? No. They have to. You can't use any lesser cut. It has to be perfect. And anyway, to have them fit in the housing is not possible. The housing is a unique design. It's not possible. You can't just put any gemstone in.
I'm locking that away. That was, he basically said that they were semi-universal and they could fit into like so many different things. But you're talking about good gemstones and it taking time and his pushing forward, was he suggesting you use lesser gemstones, or like what were you supposed to do if you didn't have the gemstones?
A few weeks ago, he was suggesting that we use something cheaper, but I explained why, and I made it clear that it was not possible. He seemed to understand at the time. He stopped asking about it. No, this discussion was about funding, failing to secure funding from the Colons, failing to convince Navani that it was worth investigating. But that's not true. Navani sees the value of this. She herself said that this was a worthy design to investigate further. I just need to provide more testing. I didn't even feel comfortable having it installed in an active storm shelter. My initial test site is not even here. It is in an unused warehouse.
That seems quite safe, because that would, stop things from going wrong if the tests were not proven.
Oh no, that man. Please
It's not
don't
the
tell
design.
me. Oh God.
Kess, multiple things have happened here today. It's not just the storm shelter, but that is part of it.
You watch as she
Lesser
sits down,
gemstones
shame sprint
have been
falling, red and
used.
white leaves around her, or red and white petals falling around her.
I have killed someone.
No. Kess, who is in charge of acquiring the gemstones?
I was originally, but Eskin said he could find someone who would be able to produce for us gemstones at a faster rate for cheaper. I refused.
Do you know who that is?
I have been the one installing them and making sure that they are perfect.
And in that room, there was one installed that was perfect.
Yes, I checked them all myself 2 days ago. Even this morning, I have checked over them. I felt so uncomfortable with this being installed in an active storm shelter. I've checked them every
Would anyone
day.
be able to change them out?
Anyone with a good
something
enough knowledge of Fabrial design would be able to. Your friend Neivien, she would be able to, but I mean, it's not something everyone would know. I would not think that you would know how to uncouple the components and be able to remove the gemstone without damaging it or without damaging the housing.
I wouldn't be so bold. How long have you worked with the Ardent?
It has been 3 months.
And do you know anything about his background? Where you met him?
He's a number of papers and publications to his name, a number of discoveries that he has he's been able to write up, and that I mean he's well known amongst the Ardentia for cultivating wonderful new ideas. I don't. There have been some talk of rumors. I know he and Navani do not get along. I don't know why. I thought it was to do with maybe he can be a bit brusque and a bit rude sometimes, and the Queen would not appreciate that. But beyond that, he has a number of discoveries to his name.
What were you doing at the storm shelter today? Why were you here specifically?
Because my design is in this room, is in all the rooms. I feel I have a responsibility to be here to make sure that it is functioning normally. That if I had not been pulled aside by Eskin, I would be going around each room checking every 5 minutes, every single one.
That was my next question. So Eskin was keeping you in that room?
Just because he was talking, I don't think he was. You don't think he was? No.
Did he ask you to stay with him and talk to him?
He didn't ask, but he made it clear I was expected to.
Kess, I'm sorry that you saw what you did in there. I haven't been able to look at it myself. But I need you to stay out here a little bit longer, and someone will come and speak with you.
If you
think that
if you believe that my design has been damaged or if it is responsible for this man's death, I am the only one who could tell you exactly how and why things went wrong. Eskian doesn't know the designs as well as I do. He has tried to make modifications, ones that I disagree with fundamentally. He says that his expertise in this area, he knows better, but it's not right, a lot of the things he has suggested. He's wrong about things. His knowledge is strangely lacking for someone with his credentials.
Kess, I hear what you say. I think it is time for you to come back in, but I have to ask you one last question. What is his expertise in? Where do you see his strength?
You watch as she goes to say something, kind of pauses, and then lets out a big sigh. I think he's really good at taking credit for other people's work.
You're a very smart woman, Kess, and I think you're going to do great work with this. I'm sorry for this beginning, but if you say that Nalvani has found value in this, then I'm sure it will be so. And if there is anything I can do to put in a good word about this technology, I'm sure House Bethab would love to see a presentation.
If a man is dead because of this, I will need to shut this down for some time.
You could return to the proper testing. This isn't a result of your work alone. This is what
My
happens
work
when
enabled
people...
it. Just as the blacksmith who makes the sword. He knows what he's making. He knows it is dangerous. He gives it to a soldier. There may not be blood on his hands, but there is in his mind. He knows what he's making. I knew what I was making. I knew it could be dangerous.
Kess, you are asking the right questions and thinking the right things, and that's going to lead you to saving someone down the road. I think it's time you come inside with the others.
She nods. It's at this point, as Alaran and Kess head back in, that's perfect timing for Neivien and Rav-eth's kind of like direction of like, oh, if any gemstone could fit in here, then it's at that point that Alaran and Kess walk in. Kess doesn't even look at Eskian. She keeps her eyes firmly fixed on the Fabrial mounted to the ceiling, and you watch as her eyes grow troubled, her brow furrowing as she examines it closely, and then turns towards Ztar, Neivien, Rav-eth, Hula, and Alaran. Someone has taken a gemstone out of here. They have scratched the housing, the central section. The iron there has been marked. Someone used a tool, roughly as large as my finger, sharp to pry a gemstone free. This is not the correct. You need a pair of needle-nose pliers. Grasp either side of the gemstone to remove it. The incorrect tool has been used to pull this out.
Okay, so out of the gems that we have here, do you see one that looks like it would fit perfectly in this device?
You watch she walks over and begins examining the gemstones. As she does so, you watch as Eskian goes, Kess, your design has killed somebody. Your carelessness here has... And as he goes to speak, you watch as Alindri looks over and just casually backhands him without any further noise. Just...
If he was going to do it, I was going to do it.
I thought these were your designs, Eskian. You were so sure they were your designs.
You watch as Eskian looks up, blood pooling on his bitten lip, split lip. You watch as Alindri looks towards you lot, looks towards Eskian and goes, shut your storming mouth, man, or I'll cut off your tongue. Reaches down, slowly unsheaths his side sword just a tiny bit.
You watch as Eskian, horror and shock on his face, just sits there dumbly, looking a bit like startled. You watch as Alindri turns towards the rest of you, kind of shrugs and goes, I've had enough bullshit for one day. The stench of Charles shit coming from his mouth. I've had enough of it from Luren. I've had enough of it from him. There's only so much I can stomach. Sorry about that.
Alaran's going to step up between Kess and the senior Ardent and like basically block line of sight so that she doesn't have to be able to see him. And he's going to look back to Hula and point to like him in the manacles to kind of be like, back him, like put him in the corner, please. Like
put him in hair jail again.
Yeah.
Is there a tool on the table that like matches up with like maybe the crude implement that would have been used?
Rav-eth, there's a whole bunch of tools and some Artifabrian supplies, some supplies used for the creation of Fabrials. As you have a bit of a look through them, could you make for me a deduction or crafting check, please, Rav-eth?
That's definitely going to be...
As Cass goes through the gemstones, she examines them closely, pulling out a tiny lens from her pocket, slotting it almost like a monocle over one eye, like a jeweler's lens, and begins examining the gemstones before finally holding up one of the sapphires. This one here, this is the gemstone. This absolutely was in the housing. I know this. There's a discoloration on the edge of the sapphire, a streak of purple against the blue. I recognize it. I saw this gemstone. I fitted it myself. I recharged it myself. This was in the housing. She holds it up and hands it over towards you, Neivien.
It's an 18.
18, Rav-eth. Yeah, there's a file that has been slightly scratched. Long as a finger, wide as a thumb, sitting there. Just amongst these various other tools.
I like point at the tool and go, I don't think from your description of what would be used for the replacement of this crystal, I don't think a file would be useful, but it looks like this one has been used by your senior Ardent here.
It's because Eskin refuses to use needle nose pliers. As she looks down at his tools, which are distinctly lacking any form of pliers or graspers or tweezers.
So it clearly wasn't an underling that installed this crystal then? Or removed it.
You watch as she turns towards Eskian. You stupid man. You stupid, stupid man. You've killed someone. For what? For a gemstone that you can't even sell? These have been drilled in such a way they can only be used in these fabrials. It can't even be cut up for use in spheres. Not for the same value. You watch as she just... Words fail her as she places the gemstone down and then just slumps to the ground against one of the storage units, one of the storage chests.
Now, isn't it interesting, Senior Ardent, that at no point did my little device go off during any of that conversation? How fascinating.
You watch as Ardent Eskian, voice returning to him.
Senior Ardent Eskian.
That's the word he uses. I'm talking as your subconscious. I don't think any of you believe that now. Or hold any stake in that. As he slowly stands, touching at his lip.
Senor.
Senor. Yeah, he's from... he's a cousin. He's a cousin to the Lupin. Senor Ardent. As he slowly stands. He's from Hadaz. You watch as he looks around. You can't believe that. You can't believe that I was... No, this is... You will not pin the blame for this on me. It was her design. She's the one who made this. She's the one who designed a faulty, dangerous Fabrial. Insisted we test it in this storm shelter against people.
But you were just taking credit for this design earlier. When you walked in here, this was all your design. You were the one proud of this.
Your story's changed a little bit.
You were trying to sell Alaran on a demonstration to House Bethad. This is all yours until you'd found out something bad had happened.
it's a misunderstanding of how these things work. You have a supervisor whose job it is to supervise and adapt the raw.
No, you specifically said these are your designs.
You know, I'm beginning to think that the senior Ardent here is not actually a very competent man. I'm beginning to think he might not be as smart as he seems to think he is.
He may not be quite senior either in that regard.
How unfortunate for him.
Eskian, at this point, I think we have more than enough evidence for you to go down for this crime. At this point, the only thing that remains is whether this man's death was accidental or whether there was a motive. So at this point, I have to seriously encourage you to just come clean. It's the only thing that's going to help you at this point.
I think for once in your pathetic life, you should answer honestly.
Okay.
The device will tell us. The technique had no expense in its creation.
Oh. Ztar, could I please have a persuasion or intimidation check, your choice? You may roll a raise the stakes on this.
Could I assist on it?
Yes, absolutely.
I would
all of you are
assist by
assisting. It's all good.
Point the Fabriel at me and be like, am I sick of this guy wasting our time? Am I going to do something if he keeps wasting our time?
So
you want to watch me kill this airsick lowlander? The light goes on. Will I tear out his kidneys from the mouth or the anus? Light goes on. The anus it is. He's going to wish you had the colon guard. Persuasion or intimidation?
That's an advantage.
You'll check.
All right,
yeah,
so,
with advantage. Raise the stakes.
Persuasion with advantage and opportunity.
Yes,
and
please.
raise the stakes. All right. Does the advantage button work?
No, I think you have to roll it twice.
Do you want to throw a decisive command in there for a D4 as well?
Fuck yeah, why not? Let's just pour it on.
All right, I'm going to use the focus.
Actually, I think the advantage does work. I think it's gone green there because it just kept the highest one. So if you click advantage in the thing, not re-roll, but click advantage.
Hey! Oh yeah, re-roll doesn't work. Yeah, re-roll literally just re-rolls what you rolled before. So we've got an unnatural 20 with an opportunity plus an additional 4, so 24 plus an opportunity. Ztar, would you like to use this opportunity to have him really fall apart and like lose his composure on this? You can, or you can bank it for later. It's up to you.
That seems like justice. I'm all for. I want to know why, because what the punishment for this crime depends entirely on his motivation. If it was just greed, wanting to steal it, and it was an accident, that's very different to if he actually intended to murder someone.
Premeditated, yeah.
So that's what I want to know, so I know what to dish out here.
With your opportunity as well, Ztar, time for a moment seems to almost slow around you. This crystallization as your mind begins racing, piecing together all the moments, and you come to this crossroads. What was the motive? Is this murder or manslaughter? And in that moment, corner of your eye, you catch a little rend in the sky appearing. Starlight on the other side as this tiny mote, semi-transparent starlight appears near you. You're being watched in this moment and judged for your performance. I am going to say, so far, your performance here, you can sense, you're not sure how, but you can feel has been pleasing. As you hear the rhythm of satisfaction humming from the patch of starlight.
Cool. Do you like when patches of starlight hum?
The vibration of the stars. As the high spren that's been watching you now, Ztar, your quest for justice has been a noble quest, and you have done well. You have impressed the high spren. As you spend the opportunity, you watch as the Ardent finally loses his shit. Not a smart man. I've been switching these gemstones out for 4 weeks, ever since you first presented me this design, Kess. Not a smart man. Didn't even notice how many I had changed. And then you watch as he realizes what he's just said and pauses.
Wow.
Oops.
Yeah, so not a smart man, really. So, it was just gross negligence. Poor Kavasi was just in the wrong place at the wrong time.
You watch as he glances towards the storage unit over the far side. And as you say the name Kavasi, because Kess has not heard that merchant's name yet. This is the first time she's heard the name. She hasn't had a close look at the body. You watch as her eyes go wide with recognition. Kavasi, that's the merchant I've been purchasing many of the gemstones from. The ones that I needed to then take to be shaped. He has been... No, he was supposed to be making a delivery. There is a... As she looks over at the storage towards the north. There were gemstones not yet cut for fabric use. There were meant to be a delivery of them. He was supposed to leave them here and I was going to collect them later on. No, he's a kind man. He did not deserve this.
Look, he was involved in shady dealings. He deserved something, but certainly not this. This does not fit the crime at all. But it seemed like that wraps it up. It was Eskian in the storage room with the negligence.
So, for all of you here, you may, in this moment, come to a consensus. You are the judges in this moment here.
Oh, there is one thing we haven't found yet.
The paper.
The paper.
I also...
Give me the paper.
What?
1, where's the paper? 2, give me the paper.
Is that to me?
I want to know.
Do you want me to give you the paper?
As established earlier, I get what I want when I want it.
Swear to me, where's the paper? Yeah.
Where's the paper?
We don't know why the stones were screaming either.
I mean, that could be because they got hit by a ice storm and they were full of favorable juices.
I feel like stones would be pretty good at dealing with high pressure situations.
I mean, it could have been the cracking of this gemstone that did it. Out of character because I know what favorals are, but like,
yeah,
might have been that gemstone in particular smashing and whatever was inside getting all smashed up that did it.
This isn't a spoiler. This isn't a spoiler, Neivien. You know that fabrials work by trapping spread in gemstones. That's a known fact.
I wouldn't. But...
Yeah.
So, yes, what's the connection between a spren leaving a gemstone and stones screaming?
Did it
Can
leave?
I roll for the fuck?
Yeah, maybe. I mean, it got hit by a heist, or maybe it didn't have time to just leave.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they don't just... It takes very specific circumstances for a spren to stop existing.
To stop existing?
I mean,
yes. To be hurt, though?
Get split into a few pieces, maybe, yeah.
Neivien, do you want to make for me a deduction check?
Are we running...
You'll spread an atom bomb.
I just need that cleared up for me. Like, was it the stone screaming or was it a spren screaming that the lady heard? A deduction, was it?
Yeah, deduction check. I think I had a brief moment where we lost 1,228 frames, but I seem to be stable once more, so let me know if there's any lag. 23, okay. Neivien. The surge of power and force that would have been directed through this fabrial, yeah, it's conceivable that could have actually done some physical damage, or maybe not physical damage, but damage to whatever spren was in this gemstone when it finally cracked and shattered. It's not a ridiculous idea. And the thing is, right, the person who told you this, who heard the stones are screaming, is a soulcaster. Their understanding and perception of things is already a little bit twisted by their exposure to the soulcaster. So it's very possible that that's what she interpreted it as. it fits. Is it the only explanation? No, but it does fit with the information you have gathered so far.
Okay, I'm satisfied with that.
Okay.
Now, where is that paper? Gimme.
What paper?
I think, I don't know if it was Ash or Alaran that said it in one of the earlier sessions, that the bloody paper might not be on anyone's person because we're in a room full of storage lockers. But it also might be something that somebody has claimed. We did know that it could have been a Parshman writ.
Yep.
And we know someone who has a Parshman, but they've been thoroughly searched, supposedly.
More likely,
like,
you
it could
think
just
it was
be
a span read communication. That was the most
Oh,
likely.
okay.
Yeah,
Cool.
for the size and the shape, most likely a span read communication.
Further to that, also, if it was put into at least one particular chest, then it's got full Harry Potter mode and like is mixed up with all the other bloody pieces of paper on the ground.
Oh yeah.
The only other thing that it could have been is Lurin came in here when the body was found, but then went south on his own for some reason and returned. It could have been his, like evidence that indicted him.
I'm going to take
I don't
one.
know why he went.
I'm going to take one little look here and try to see if, like, all these papers. I know that we kind of piled them, didn't we? We kind of made it up a bit. Can I just search through the papers and find, well, hopefully find one that has slightly older, slightly drier blood on it?
Yep. Could I grab?
Could I also?
Oh yeah.
I was just going to say, could I also argue, because when that happened, I asked if I could do an agility test to catch things before they hit the bloody thing. Could I just turn that into an advantage? Or some other benefit?
Bit too far in the...
Yeah, that's okay.
Yeah, in that case, because it's been so long since that happened, you could assist Neivien in this, but it's
But
like
it would mean that there would be less pieces of paper I'd need to check for the blood.
Yeah.
Things bloody.
Sort of blood on
Yeah, I'm happy for that. So Neivien, you can have advantage of this in this check from Alaran. Could I please get a I think probably perception, or I'm gonna go deduction. Perception or deduction, your choice.
I'll try to perceive it.
Perceive it? Is that because you got a +5 to perception, a +4 to deduction?
It is, yeah. Oh, that's not with advantage, is it? It was just a DC.
Yeah.
No.
You've worked with advantage from Alaran. You can roll again.
Yeah, you got advantage.
Oh,
Still a low DC. It's advantage.
Yeah.
let me try that again. Sorry, guys.
It's all good. I'm happy for Alaran's earlier efforts. 22. So 11 and a 22. We'll take the 22. Neivien, as you go through the pieces of paper, you don't find anything that matches what you think you're looking for here. Nothing with old dried blood. Certainly nothing that would be soaked through, because it was an indentation that was left behind. So it would have been soaked at least on every edge. No, nothing like that.
It's not here. It'll be somewhere else.
Well, that said, I don't think it's going to exonerate this man.
No, but it might lead to some other potential avenues here. Perhaps this was negligence that happened, but perhaps this was a happy accident for someone else, if you know what I mean.
I think at the very least, Captain Lurin did try to cover it up, and that must be punished also. There were a number that had reason to want harm for this man out there, but none that seemed inclined to try to murder him.
Have we asked the captain about the paper?
No, let's go to that. I was about to interview him when you guys barged back in holding two Ardents.
I think it's worth our time to have a quick chat with him before we wrap all this.
Do you mind staying here with this guy and please kick him in the nuts if he tries to leave?
Be my pleasure to kick him
in the spheres. Sorry. Yeah.
In the interests of, because I realize where we are.
That.
I realize we are with time. what I'll get you to do as you go down and begin to check in with Lurin, he is belligerent at first, but I mean, you've searched everyone you've interviewed. If you force a search on him, you will find the bloodied paper. It is a span read communication to the merchant, which means that Kavasi could read. It looks, which means Kavasi could read the script, which is interesting. The information on it, as Neivien reads it out, essentially is news about a shipment coming in, and there is a glyph on it as well that is the glyph for the colon guard, which is why Lurin took it. He thought it was mentioning him, and he thought Kavasi was going to blackmail him, so he took it when he saw it. He didn't know what it said, so he just took it thinking, oh, well, I need to...
Walked in, saw a dead guy, saw something that mining come around him, stole it because he's a bad dude.
Yeah.
Well, Captain Lurin, I think...
I find you guilty of dickheadedness.
Tell me. Do you enjoy carrying large objects while arrows are shot at you?
Why do you ask?
I just think you'll have a bright future on one of the many bridge crews.
Tampering with evidence is not a small crime.
And impeding an investigation, covering up a murder,
slave trade.
Ties to the black market, accepting bribes. I just hope that you seem like such a lovely chap. I just hope that you would enjoy carrying a bridge while Parshendi fire arrows at you.
Mark my words, I will hunt down each and every one of you when I eventually escape from whatever fate befalls me, and I will make sure you pay tenfold for every humiliation that you have made me suffer. For you, Alindri, I will have my revenge.
All right.
He says in front of multiple guards. He says in front of multiple guards who are like, yeah, I noticed that. I will report that he just threatened your life, all of you.
Cool. Well, that's...
Alrighty. I need from all of you your final judgment. Who is the guilty party? Are we all in agreement?
I was Kess. Well, yeah.
Are we all in agreement that it is Eskian is the guilty party? Now the question is, was this murder?
Where's Gark in all this?
Where's Gark?
Have you ever seen Gark and Eskian in the same room?
You haven't. Was this murder, manslaughter, or an accident?
Well, I mean,
Find the difference between manslaughter and accident.
Negligent manslaughter.
Manslaughter is negligent manslaughter. Accident is
he had absolutely no
intent
intent to murder someone, but he did do something wrong that resulted in someone's death.
Purely for financial gain.
I would say
purely for selfish gain. He wasn't trying to help. It wasn't even an honest mistake. Like he was tampering with the designs. He was deliberately switching out gemstones because he's a greedy little fuck.
Yep.
He's
But I mean,
guilty
like,
of stupid.
It
You could argue that if he didn't know the danger of the Fabrial fucking up,
Yeah,
That
it would
would be
have been an
yeah.
accident
Manslaughter.
if it had been just the sapphire like malfunctioning, like the good sapphire malfunctioning.
Yeah.
because it was.
Or even if he was just trying real hard to be a good outer Fabrian and tinkered with her designs, and that's what went wrong. Even that could be an accident.
Argued
if
less
not-
negligent, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And it makes it even more egregious that this was multiple occasions that he's done this.
for 4
And-
weeks.
And even more so is
minutes.
like I said, the gemstones aren't even that valuable because they've already been cut for Fabrials.
He didn't know that because he's such a dumb shit.
Because he's such a dumb shit.
So
Really, the real crime is idiocy.
yeah, well, isn't that the message I'm trying to send? So the final ruling.
It's got what Fabrials crave.
So the final ruling is negligent manslaughter. He holds responsibility for the death, but it is not a murder. It wasn't intentional, but he does hold responsibility. Ultimately, it was his actions that directly led to Kavasi's death.
Yep.
Right?
And how many counts of attempted manslaughter for all the other ones that he's fucked
A lot.
around with?
So, all of you may level up. We will go through your level ups next session. In addition, Ztar, I want to do this properly at the beginning of the next session. You will be offered a chance to speak some words. We will go through that at the beginning of the next session. I want to roleplay that, and I want to give it the time and space it needs. So we'll do it properly. But if you wanted to do your level up now, you may take the level I know you want to take.
I don't know how to make it do that for me, so I'll have a chat with you at some point. But yes, I do.
Alrighty. Everyone, that is where we will wrap up for tonight as the storm shelter is reopened. We'll go through a full like rundown of the aftermath of what this looks like, but well done, all of you. Very, very nicely done. I could tell you the actual answer, but it's actually funnier if we just go with what you guys said, and we'll see later on. I can if there's any consequences for your decisions and your actions here today, I guess we'll get to experience them as they come up. But for now, that is all we have time for. Thank you so much for joining us, everybody. I hope you've enjoyed the Storm Shelter murder. Echoes of Honor continues. We will carry on. I've had a real fun time running a murder mystery. Fucking hell, I want to run more of these. These are great fun.
That was so much fun.
Oh god, it's I've decided this is my new favorite type of session to run. We've gone over. We will catch you all next time. For those of you watching on Twitch, don't go anywhere. We're going to go and raid a lovely friend of the channel. For everyone watching on YouTube or listening to the podcast, make sure you hit the subscribe button, the like button, and leave a comment. Otherwise, you may just find your colon guards no longer available, and who knows what would happen if you don't have enough of them around to protect you. We will see you all in the next one. Hope you guys have a lovely evening. We're going to go and take a long rest. I'll get that raid going right now. Everybody stay safe, stay well. We'll see you all again soon. Until then, farewell. Goodbye. Bye.
Bye.
See you, friends.